Hey, I'm JR.
And I'm Mike from the 18 Over Par with Mike and JR podcast.
Welcome to Season 5 of the pod, where we'll continue exploring the sights, stories, and sounds of golf on the prairies, where you'll find some of the most golf courses per capita of anywhere in the world. And beer. Lots of beer.
That's right, JR. More beer.
It's the 18 Over Par podcast with Mike and JR.
You suck, you jackass.
Welcome to 18 Over Par with Mike and JR, proudly presented by Bryce Matlashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. I'm JR, he's Mike, and today we're joined by Niakwa member, one of the top online PGA teaching professionals, and Swings for Soldiers founder and director, Jayson Nickol. He fought for our country, and now he fights to cure shitty golf swings.
We found ourselves on location. This could be a new studio for us, Mike.
I think so. Absolutely beautiful. Was that fresh pine? I'm not sure that smell, but beautiful location here. What area? We're in almost Crescentwood, I think, in the Winnipeg City.
In the Winnipeg City?
In the Winnipeg City.
Is that what it is? Do you know?
Fort Garry.
Fort Garry. All right.
Fort Garry, kind of close to Thermea, Crescent Drive.
Yeah.
We're nearby there.
Wildwood.
Wildwood, yeah. And then also Niakwa as well, because we are here with... Are you a Niakwa member?
I am, yes.
You're officially a member. All right. Well, this guy is a member of St. Chuck's, and that is Bryce Matlashewski. He's an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. You can also find him in our link tree. Just go to our Facebook or Instagram page, click on our bio, and right there you will see the lovely Bryce Matlashewski. And he paid us today, so that's great. So we give him all the love in the world. Thanks for paying us, Bryce. He just loves being a part of it.
Just
loves being a part of it.
Pillowcase full of cash. Dropped it off. And
that's how we do it in Tuxedo, Mike.
We might be able to buy one of these golf labs. I got to say, though, just talking about this studio we're in, probably one of the most high-tech laboratories we've been in.
Absolutely.
And we've been in some high-tech
Well, why don't we
stuff.
just get into it right away then? What are you cooking in here? Like, what are we working with inside this thing?
Yeah, so we've got GC Quad. That'd be the main unit that we get all the ball data from.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've got a couple cameras, obviously, for capturing all the swings. We've got some swing catalyst force plates coming out. Those are going to be here probably tomorrow. So there's going to be actually more tech coming.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a tracking number?
I did get a tracking number. Yeah, they were nice enough to give me an actual tracking number.
Oh, that's good.
Super pumped about that.
Yeah, that is a positive, but it is. You got a little putting green here as well.
Yeah, that actually tilts. So it'll go up to about a 2-degree slope.
Wow.
Really? How do you do that?
It's on linear actuators. I installed them myself, custom made.
Can you spell that for me?
I was going to say
No.
English. So is it like a hydraulics or just...
Yeah, it's like a mini hydraulic, basically. Linear actuators, like them usually are for moving solar panels and stuff like that. Nothing too heavy. Basically, each of them can move about 350 pounds. They obviously don't need to move.
So I wouldn't be able to stand on it.
Oh, you'd be good. There's 2 of them. So you got to divide it by 2.
You'd sleep on it, and just a night it would kind of be like a water bed.
Maybe.
Put some manual
That's
settings
cool.
in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is amazing. And I guess mostly you teach online, but we'll get into the teaching component of it here in a bit. But really, how did you get into this game of golf?
I've been golfing since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. We have a cabin out at Westhawk, and I learned how to golf at Falcon. It was
not a bad spot.
Yeah, it's one of the nicest golf courses in Manitoba, if not the nicest.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously everyone's biased where they learned how to play the game. But yeah, I had a good, grandfather. He's just absolutely loved the game of golf, and he passed it down basically to me. That was where I learned how to play. And then I never really played competitively. Like growing up, it was just like a fun thing to do with my grandfather. I didn't really even know that there was, you could compete in it. I probably would if I did, because I was competing in everything else that I could. I really actually took some time off the game when I joined the military, and I came back after getting injured and fell back in love with the game and been absolutely enthralled with it since then.
Was your grandfather good at golf?
He was really good. However, he's probably better in my mind than he actually was.
Right.
I'll never forget whenever it was wet at Falcon, which, before they put in drainage, it was often cart path only. And he would hit a drive and it would go really near the cart path / the woods. And he'd go, cart path golf. And I would think to myself, damn, he's so good that he's hitting it close to the cart path, so he doesn't have to walk that far.
As long as the cart path's always on the right-hand side of the fairway. If you had to put like a handicap on yourself as a junior, what do you think you would have been?
I mean, I broke 90 a fair amount when I played, but I probably gave myself like mulligans and stuff like that. So, somewhere in there, probably like a 12 to 14.
Yeah.
Maybe higher. Who knows?
Do you remember your first set of clubs, like what you were playing with?
I played with whatever my grandma gave me, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no junior set for me. It was like, all right, these are light, play these. I believe they were jazz clubs, if I remember right.
Shout out to Terry.
Shout out to Terry, past
Hashimoto.
guest of the pod. Check him out on
Season X, Episode X.
Yeah. Season 5, by the way. This is Season 5 of the pod if you're new to it.
Episode 2.
18 over par pod. Thanks for joining us. Because sometimes we'll get some new listeners just by floating around
Absolutely.
Fourth Line. You can see us frequenting Fourth Line Pub and Grill in sunny St. James, Ness and Sturgeon.
Beautiful, beautiful place.
Well,
there.
I did drop the name of our past guest, Season 5, Episode 1, Tim Ringland, part of the Tradesman Realtors, who we're hoping to get on as sponsors. I sent them the package. We'll maybe leave their link in the link tree.
Yeah, for now.
But
Until
they haven't given us that pillowcase of cash.
You're right.
I don't know what they do in Westwood.
Yeah, probably just solid gold bars.
Oh, that's just good thing you didn't just stop at solid gold. Going
Gold.
to Rippers.
Gold bullion, silver bullion, Bitcoins. We'll take it all. Bitcoin
But anyways,
down.
I said
Anyways,
we weren't going to ramble, and
We're rambling.
Yeah, we're rambling. But I mentioned his name, and someone actually cheered. Someone knew Ringer. Did not know them. They knew Ringer, and they're like, "What? He's on a podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, check us out. Here's a sticker."
Well, Jay, probably has a few more followers than Ringer, so hopefully,
We're gonna get him on as a sponsor. Well, you're starting up your own podcast too, aren't you?
That's right.
Can you actually give us any details or no?
I think it'll be fine. Yes.
Okay.
We're hoping to launch by the end of March. It's called Spin Access.
Yeah.
Access.
And you can spell that one?
That one I can spell. Yeah. With my 6th grade spelling.
Got to start somewhere. So you kind of went through the history there real quick about, playing as a junior and then stopping, serving our country, then coming back and falling in love with the game again. What was the point in time that you said, "Hey, I want to become a pro"? Because you're a PGA.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, PGA of America.
Yes, which
actually.
is strange.
Yeah, it is. It's. I have a good story about that, but maybe
tell.
I've mentioned it once or twice. It's definitely. I try not to bash too many things, but that one was definitely that upset me a little bit. Basically, I have my associate for PGA of America. I'm basically finished my level 1 stuff, just waiting to hear back from my portfolio that you submit. And I, advertise that I'm PGA accredited, which I am. I'm on their site. All my stuff's there. I paid all my dues. And the PGA of Canada sent me a very nasty email telling me that I needed to cease and desist, saying that I was a PGA member. And I informed the fellow nicely. I said, I'm really sorry that I am a part of the PGA. I'm part of PGA America. And he proceeded to tell me that I was not, because he couldn't find me online. I told him that's because my legal name is Christopher, and you'll find me under Christopher Jayson Nickol online. After we got on a conversation and I helped him find it online, he then decided that he would thank me for giving him a phone call, and then about 20 minutes later sent me an email and asked if I wanted to join the PGA of Canada.
nice.
I wasn't too fond of that at that time.
But does the accreditation then come over? You just have to pay your dues?
Yeah,
if you wanted
once
to do
you
that?
get your Class A, which is, it's probably going to take me about 3 or 4 years to get there. I'm in no rush for it. To be honest with you, there's no need for me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I finished all my teaching stuff on level 1. I learned that so long ago. Basically what I'm learning is like golf cart fleet management, which I will never own or run a fleet of golf carts. So I find it hard to, stay engaged into that stuff. The only reason that I'm finishing it at this point is because once I get my Class A PGA of America, I can get tickets to the Masters.
Oh,
yeah.
Smart man. And you can take us.
Yeah. How many tickets do you get?
You can ask for 4 if I remember right.
Oh, wow.
Every
Okay.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
brilliant.
JR, Mike, and Bryce.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he paid.
Yeah, exactly.
He paid as of today. Thanks, Bryce. So when did you then decide that you wanted to be a pro? That you're like, hey, I want to do this now.
Maybe about a year before COVID hit.
Okay.
When I was seriously thinking about, all right, I wanna help other people play better golf.
Mm-hmm.
As a amateur golfer, I struggled with, let's say, getting information that worked for me.
Okay.
I find that the information that I was getting, trying to get better, was very one size fits all. Just do this. This will be good for you. The issue with me in particular, and I'm sure a lot of people out there, is I have a pretty broken body. My whole right side is pretty messed up. I injured my right leg in overseas, and then I injured my right shoulder in workup, and then I injured my right wrist in some other training exercise.
Mm-hmm.
What I was told to do, I physically couldn't do it at that time. I was just told just to repeat it and you'll be good.
Yeah.
So once I found out that that wasn't the case, and I learned about TPI, which is Titleist Performance Institute, and how certain people move a certain way, and then there's different body types. I've learned about Mike Adams golf, which is, people are all built differently. And now once you learn that stuff, you see it constantly, right? You'll see people, for instance, that have really long torso with short arms, really long legs with a short torso. You just see them like
T-Rex, get the little T-Rex
yeah,
arms
exactly,
in there.
right? And so that person needs a different setup position than the other person. If you tried to set them up the same, their balance points would be all over the place and they wouldn't be able to stay in posture trying to swing the club around them. If you have different injuries, right? So people send me swings and I'm like, hey, you ever hurt your hip? And they're like, yeah, I have. I'm like, okay, perfect. Do this drill. Can you move like this without even swinging the club? And they're like, nope. I'm like, all right, well, you can't do this. We need to find other ways for you to swing the club.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell by looking at someone, hey, do you drink on the golf course?
Not yet. I haven't learned that one yet.
Just had to ask that. Well, we got a couple lessons here. We might as well get into that. Mike started off, and then it was myself. Just the changes, it was almost instant.
Certainly. Yeah. It was.
Do you remember what you have to do now, Mike?
Yeah. I got to put a nice piece of wood on my my wrist there, my trail wrist, and to keep it flat.
Was it trail or was the one with your glove?
Yeah, you want your lead wrist, but that's okay.
Yeah, lead wrist with
I've already forgotten.
Yeah. It's all right. I'll remind you. I'll send you the videos.
This is what we're going to be doing tomorrow at work.
Practicing my swing. No, it's pretty cool. Certainly some immediate noticed some immediate changes in my swing. So, and the ball flight. So,
well, even just capturing it with the cameras and getting to see you swing the stick again. I was like, oh, you can see it. I'm sure it felt a little bit weird for you.
I did. Yeah. And we had a carpenter's pencil stuck in my golf glove. Shout out to McMunn and Yates. Make a great
keep it local.
A golf aid. So that was good. So I will have to focus on that in coming up.
Yeah, lots of feedback, lots of practice swings.
Yeah.
Well, I think you said up to 40 times, like do it 40 times a day.
Yeah. I mean, for most people, you want to do the movement more than you think, but not at one point in time. This is a lot of issues where people are like, I'm going to go work on my game. I'm going to go hit balls for an hour. Your brain 20 minutes in is shut off and you're going back into whatever pattern you've ingrained over years and years of swinging, maybe improperly, right? You need time. There's famous stories of Tiger hitting balls and then after 20, 30 minutes just sitting on a bench, people are like, oh, what is he doing? right? He's giving his brain time to like relax, reset, so he can stay focused while he's trying to change whatever he's changing.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Grab a beverage, grab a hoagie,
And grab a Caesar.
An 18 over par dog
at fourth line. We talked about that.
And then
we shouldn't
JR?
say too much about that.
No, we shouldn't. It's not a thing yet. And then we looked at JR's swing.
Mhm.
You know, it was pretty
Smooth, no notes.
no.
Gold star.
Yeah. Well, you put something on my club face as a little sticker.
Yeah, just get a little bit more data on there. Yeah, I want to see. So your big miss is that like pull over draw.
Yeah.
Like you swing, a fair amount from the inside. That all stemmed from the takeaway and how you're gathering the energy at the club as you're working back.
And I felt like I had to pick my club up sooner. And then we worked a little bit with the kettlebell here. And I was, so to kind of get out of my previous bad habits, I was used to gripping the club loosely on the takeaway to try and get that feeling of floating that we kind of talked about. Or was it gathering the club at the top? And then so I actually reversed that thanks to the kettlebell, because in order to start the kettlebell, you have to hold it pretty tightly. So I reversed that, then brought it back, and then actually loosened the grip toward the top of the swing and kind of just let it float up there. Felt weird, but I guess the results are pretty darn good. Worked for me, so now I got to work on that.
It looked good. Really good.
Thank you. You look good too, Mike. So does that Jackson Springs water. Not a sponsor of the podcast yet, but my goodness, speaking of keeping it local, what do they got, that aquifer that no one else can touch?
That's right, in Middleborough, Manitoba.
There you go.
We got to go find that aquifer. They got a...
Why do we got to find it? It's like Area 51. Storm the aquifer.
I just take a selfie in front of it. Anyways, I think we're getting way off topic here.
Well, and even, I guess, then jumping back, talking a little bit about, working with us, you must see every type, like body type, every swing, and it's so refreshing. And I know it's changed quite a bit since the one size fits all. But talking about TPI, you're a Titleist guy. Obviously, we'll touch on your bag here in a moment. Well, your golf bag. I know our last guest, Tim Ringland, had another story about a different bag. But how do you... Well, actually, you know what? Let's jump into this then, because this leads into a really good question. So Frenchie, whom you play with, who we've had on the pod, season 3, episode 18, he actually sent some questions about this, and I think it fits nicely with this. So why are some students with beautiful moves, bad at golf, and guys like Frenchie, who knows the swing ain't pretty, able to get it around and shoot decent scores? And how do you as a coach approach dealing with those challenges?
First thing I would say is a beautiful swing doesn't always come into impact at the proper, precise moment. The human eye can only pick up so much. Now, obviously, what you're going to see is like tempo, shaft pitch, how the body's moving, how the body rotates. Impact is so minute that having good hand-eye coordination can sometimes be the difference between shooting 72 and 82, even though the swings can look completely different. What I would say for, in particularly Frenchie, because I've played a lot with him, is that man scrambles better than I've ever seen anyone else in my life. It is unbelievable how he can get up and down from anywhere. He's like the last person you want to play match play against.
We've seen him in the simulator. Actually, I don't know if you played with Frenchie.
I have not, no.
Okay.
I do a pretty good job of avoiding him. I'm just kidding. I would love to play with him.
Well, and that's, I guess, how you kind of got started then with Chasing Scratch. So another great podcast is, were you a pro then at that time?
Yes.
Okay. And then just he found you online? How'd that come about?
So basically I was a listener. I mean, I love the concept. The two guys are absolutely beauties. Just two nicest people in the world. Great concept of, hey, we want to become scratch golfers without, quitting our jobs. There's been people that have done that where they're like, I'm going to quit everything and I'm just going to golf 24/7 and get better. And they're like, no, we still got jobs and we got families, and both their families are amazing and they're like great dads, just amazing human beings. I couldn't say anything, I couldn't stop. If you let me go, I just keep going, right? So amazing guys. Mike is the one that I coach. He came to me. I can't remember what season it was for them, but basically he was I don't know, a week out from the final major, and he goes, Jayson, I'm not hitting the ball really good. Do you mind taking a peek at my swing? And I looked at it and I was like, well, I mean, I only got a week. You're not really fully turning. Like I'd love to see a little bit more turn. If you just had like a one thought, give me this, and he went out and won their match after that. And he said, would you be willing to take me on full time? And I said, I'd love to. I mean, I love helping golfers. That's, you know, I absolutely love this. The ability to help somebody enjoy a game so difficult that you can truly never master is such an amazing feeling when someone texts me, you know, emails me or message me or post something where they're like, man, I just shot my best round. I beat my buddy. These are all things that you'll always remember and no one can take away from you. For what it was for Mike, obviously they're still, you know, grinding on that challenge. It really showed them, I think they were in 12s or 13s and now they're like 3s. You do need to golf a lot. And what I would say is, going back a little bit to Frenchie, is he gets in his rounds. Like he
sure does.
He plays a lot of golf, and you find ways to make your game work once you can play a lot like that. Mike, I think he played, I want to say maybe 35 or something rounds like last year, maybe 40 this year. Like he's just, and he's in North Carolina, you know what I mean? Like you almost have year round golf. Like he just needs to get some reps in his swing. And we've chatted about this before. I mean, there's a couple little pieces we're trying to clean up for him right now, but it's a beautiful swing. He can put a great move on it. Now he just needs to be able to make that move under pressure. And, you know, that's always the thing that, you know, teaching is like, oh, you can do it here where there's no pressure. You can do it at your place when you're making air swings. Once you get that white golf ball in front of you and you only got one shot, you're going to revert back to old tendencies, and you got to find ways to break through that. And that's where he's at right now, where in front of a simulator, it's great. On the range, he's absolutely striping it, like to the point where it's, you know, you think, well, I'm going to shoot 72 today. Like this is the day. And then you get out on the golf course and it's a little bit off, and then you're trying to search for it. And it's like, how can I, and this happens for lots of golfers. Like, how can I hit it so good? How can I not miss a start line on the range? And then I get on the golf course and it's just a little bit of pressure that, you know, you don't quite shift, you don't quite turn, you don't get your hands in a great spot. And then from there, it's just trying to save it. And then you're trying to save it. And then your mind starts wavering and you're like, oh, I'm doing this right. I need to find this feel. And yeah, it's hard, right? So you need to find ways to transfer what you're learning from, you know, at home to the sim, to the range, and then out to the course. And that's definitely, people often talk about, you know, are you a swing instructor? Like, no, I'm a golf coach. Like, you need to be able to get the golfer to shoot a lower score. You know, if it's a little bit of, you know, strategy, how to practice, how to increase pressure, that all comes part with it. I mean, the swing is only one part of golf.
Well, that was gonna be my follow-up question of, are you also a golf psychologist?
That too. Yeah, no, I got a couple. I mean, if you need those, I got two guys. Dr. J and Josh Nichols are both fantastic at that, and big shout out to them. I mean, they're great for any. I've had a couple students go talk with them, and they help big time. It's crazy how, I mean, obviously people know that, you know, golf is a lot of, you know, what's between your ears, especially when, if you can do a move, but then you can't do a move, right? It's like, well, you can, what's stopping you, right? Well, you know, you're afraid or you're worried. Right. A lot of times, you know, I talk about people, you know, being able to hit a shot on the range and then you can't do it. There's a famous story, if I remember right. The guy who shot 63 never stops talking about it. Johnny Miller couldn't drive the ball or something like that. And so he went up to a pro and was like, hey, like, can you come look at my swing? And he looks at his swing and he goes, it looks good. So what, like, I need some help. Like, how can you help me? He goes, I want you to hit 3 balls into the Atlantic Ocean with your driver. He goes, what? He goes, just hit 3 balls in the ocean. He's like, all right. So he goes and hits 3 balls in the ocean. Doesn't know what to do. He's like, all right, what's next? So he goes to the next tournament and the coach is there and he goes up to me and goes, like, what the heck? Like, I hit 3 drives into the ocean. What's next? Like, what is that? He goes, how'd you hit him? Well, I hit him straight. All right. Feel like you're hitting the ball in the ocean. And that was it.
Wow. That easy.
Oh, If only.
Are the scratch guys chasing scratch? Are they still got day jobs? Even now?
So Eli does. He is in banking. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk more about that.
Oh,
No, that's fine.
Yeah. Mike, though, he now, because the podcast got so large, that's basically like his.
I would think so, yeah.
And that's, I mean, you guys know how much editing and stuff goes into it. That's still full-time job. People are like, oh, he's just doing that, so now you can go golf all the time. And it's
Right.
like, no.
Well, that's why we don't have video, is because we don't have time to edit it.
Yeah.
And then did they find you through Skillest, like the app there, or they found you online, or how?
No, I was a listener, and Mike knew that I was helping a couple other listeners, and he just reached out to me.
Oh, cool.
Didn't you, our Mike, not the chasing scratch Mike, didn't you work through Skillest?
I did.
Point?
Well, I
Not
won.
teaching you.
So Skillest is like a golf teaching app.
Correct.
Application for your smartphone, and I won a contest from our friend, the golf professor, Derek Goodwin, getting lots of mentions this season. So I didn't even have to pay for it, and it was I sent in my video of me on the range, my driver, my irons from a few different angles, and then he went through it. You get the video through the app. He gives you some commentary. You get the X's and O's and the lines on your swing, and that, even from that, I had seen some significant improvements, and I'm too cheap to actually pay, so it didn't go any further than that. But I've scrolled through Skillest before, and I still reference back to that video from like 4 years ago that Derek had given me, and you can learn a lot even just from analyzing a video, and you can access pros from all over the world. Seems like you're pretty. You do a lot of lessons through Skillest, obviously.
I do a fair amount. I'd probably say 90% of my business runs through Skillest. I mean, I absolutely love teaching in person, obviously, building this whole complex for that. But the availability to teach anyone, anywhere, basically at any time. I think, if I remember right, I have 3 students in Australia right now. I got maybe 4 in the UK, and then majority. I have obviously some Canadians, majority is in the States, like California and South Carolina, all over the world. I have students.
That's
and
awesome.
To make note onto what you're talking about there is, I would say the most valuable part is that you can get a lot of feedback. And that's where, if I could have a perfect world of teaching students, it would be an hour, 2 hours of first lesson, right? Really diving into how how your body can move, how your swing works, what your concept is. Because some people just have a bad concept of how the golf swing works. Just clearing up that, sometimes people go, oh my gosh, really? That's how I'm supposed to move the club? Yeah. Once you get that sort of nailed down, well, then you need feedback. And I would say, older traditional lessons, that's where they really sort of falter, is once you leave, let's say a lesson, from, somebody that's looking for a Band-Aid fix. Mr. Johnson goes to the range and he's like, all right, golf season's upon me. Goes to the range, slices the ball a bunch, and gets there, and he goes, all right, I need a lesson with the pro. And the pro, drives cart out there and hops onto the range, videotapes him, goes, all right, just feel like you're closing the club face a little bit more. All right, perfect. And then Mr. Johnson gets a couple of drives. Oh, those are straighter. All right, great. And that's the end of the lesson, right? There's no feedback to that, right? Mr. Johnson might hit the ball good for 5 minutes, and then he's going to go to the first tee, and that's it, right? He's going to revert back. And that's going to be the only golf lesson. He's going to be like, I just paid for that. I can't believe that's all I got. Where online lessons, you're going to get the breakdown, just like you mentioned, like that. You're going to get drills I want you to do. And then where the best bit is, well, for the next month, you're going to send me videos of you doing that drill. And if you practice every day, I want videos every day, right? Because that's how you're going to make changes. I often talk about, if you wanted to learn algebra, would you go to school for 1 hour a month with a teacher, or would you go to school every day for 20 minutes for the whole month, right? Which one are you going to learn more, right? You need time. We chat about this, right? You need time to let your brain sink in what the new movement patterns is, or the new changes are, as a new feels. Well, that takes time, right? And doing stuff online gives both ends, because as a teacher, don't get me wrong, I love watching people hit golf balls, but I don't want you practicing in front of me for 45 minutes. Like, go practice yourself, grab some videos and send me. How's this look, coach? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. I want to help the next person with whatever their issue is.
Well, then what was it then? Is that kind of initially what drew you to, going online and becoming, on Skillist, becoming that online teacher, for I guess the lack of a better term?
Yeah, my mentor, so Shaheen Nachavani out of Montreal, he was my mentor. He taught me everything that I know from the golf swing when I first started out, and he was teaching online. And he goes, well, you should teach online. You're good enough to teach online. And I said, I know, but I haven't even given that many lessons. He goes, it doesn't matter. Just create a profile, get on there and start, giving lessons. And I was on there and gave a couple lessons, and then COVID hit. Which was hard. Obviously, you couldn't see anybody. I couldn't do in-person lessons. So then I just said, okay, well, I need to do more online lessons. What I did for, I think, the first 6 months, maybe even longer than that on COVID, is I gave free lessons to any frontline workers. So nurses, police, firefighters, doctors, whatever, right? I just wanted to help out. It was the only thing I could think of to give back to all of them.
And then you told them to get back to work. We need you on the front lines.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
swinging the club. Sorry, I think I've made 2 comments in 2 straight episodes here that might ruffle a few feathers, but that's right. I'll leave them in there. Last time was about women drivers.
Oh, I thought you meant you got
frontline
beef with first responders or something.
No. Not with Tim Ringland or his truck or his station.
I think I read, and this was from an article back in 2018. You had 8,000 plus lessons you've done. So
yeah, I've done probably, I think online it might be it's over. Yeah, it's getting probably close to 8,000 online.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
And then obviously in person I've been 6 years now of in-person lessons. So
sorry, it's a 2023 Score Golf article.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own beefs with Score Golf. They don't rate
Yeah, give some love to the Manitoba courses.
Manitoba courses. Though apparently they're coming to Manitoba for a rating of St. Charles.
Right. Yeah, the new St. Charles, I guess.
I got to mention
Revamped St. Charles.
this because it said it goes back and it says you originally worked as a laborer, maybe as a kid or just out of high school. It said you carried 20,000 pounds of drywall a day.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's like 400 sheets per day. I did the math.
Yeah. I did two homes a day.
Wow.
Yeah. I had really big forearms back then,
I guess.
like Popeye.
Yeah. Just like
back, though.
Sandy Kursiba, his forearms are huge.
Oh, his forearms and his hands.
Anyways, that's cool.
Yeah.
I had to get that in there. It has no added value to this interview, but
I think it does.
that's
That
a lot of
adds to it.
sheets of drywall.
That is a lot
The
of
other
trouble.
thing I read that you're teaching other pros on how to teach, probably like through online.
I offer. I don't charge or anything like that. I'm just here to give back, right? So there's a young fellow that reached out actually the other day on Instagram who's starting out in the industry, and he just asked. He said, "I would love some information on how to teach, how do you look at the swing." I obviously had amazing abilities of learning from coaches. I just came back from Florida where I shadowed under Tony Ranero. Hopefully I didn't butcher his last name there. From the Dew Sweepers.
We wouldn't know.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't hear this. Hopefully I got it right actually.
I
But
phonetically spelled out Shaheen Necjavani.
yeah,
and
that wasn't too bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if as a coach, if you can help out other coaches, I think that's fantastic. I mean, there's too much bashing in the industry. And I would say at the beginning, when I first, came out, I was maybe a little bit upset at the industry, especially in this area from sort of what I went through. And I try really hard to be, a positive person. And maybe in the past I've said stuff that I, maybe shouldn't have had, but obviously I was a little bit jaded at that time. I think everybody has their spot in the industry, and trying to find out how you can help other people is going to go a long way. And it's just going to help prop up, the entire golf industry.
That's right. What is it? High tides, float all ships, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Raise all ships, whatever it is. I don't know. I lived on the East Coast and I still don't know the lingo. That's just me. Oh, I had another one, a quick one too, since we're talking on the teaching subject, and this also is from Frenchie. He's kind of pumping your tires here too. But he said, "Why does it seem so easy for you to explain the same concept to different students in vastly different ways so they understand. So maybe this is kind of the golf psychologist, and even though you're not certified, quote unquote.
I would say golf coaching, and I would almost go almost all coaching. It doesn't matter if it's hockey or golf. It's trying to find how your student hears/learns. I'll never forget, I had one student. We've been maybe working together for about a year, and obviously a year for some people, it's like, man, a year, like a whole year. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you've got 20 years of bad movement patterns, 1 year is not that long of a time. And you think about that. And I remember telling him, the same thing, just a different wording, different style of, what I was trying to get him to do. And he stopped and went, oh yeah, I like that. That makes sense. And that was it. Just like that light bulb moment, made the move. And then he turned to me and he goes, wait a second. Didn't you tell me this like 8 months ago? I was like, yes, I very much did tell you this exact same thing, just slightly different. He goes, damn. Well, I'm glad you showed me again. Right. And that's the thing is, don't be afraid to say the same thing, but just some other way. Like it might be sound like, oh, I'm just saying the same thing, right? Like why is this person getting it? Well, it's not that they don't want to get it, right? It's just they aren't ready maybe to receive the way that you're sending it across. Find some other way, either a feel, like a touch, a drill, a movement, a video. Some people are very, visual, right? Yep. Show them, go, okay, give me a second. Here's what I want you to do. Can you watch me do it? Right. And they'll be like, okay, I can see that. Right. And then it's like, all right, then I videotape them. Can you do that same thing? And they're like, oh no, I can see myself. A lot of times I tell my students, like zoom yourself. Like if you have an iPad, take your iPad, put it down on the ground, angle it up, right? Put your camera or your phone down the line so that you can be in like your dress position, staring at the iPad, and then watch yourself make whatever your movements are, right? Whatever your issue is. If you have a really bad inside takeaway, right? Move off the golf ball and you're just like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm watching myself do that. And it's like, all right, what is the complete opposite of that? All right, that's your feel. So that even though it might be an extreme feel and it might feel really weird, once you revert back under pressure, you need that extreme feel. If it doesn't feel extreme enough, guess what? You're probably not doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like with your pencil, and for me with the kettlebell.
Yeah. Well, apparently I didn't even know which hand I was.
You're just gonna have pencils all over.
Yeah, that's why I need. That's why I need the feedback.
Sure. Yeah, and I know that some people can get it right away and they understand their body and they they'll go and you're like, okay, you do the yada yada yada, and then it's like, okay, and I feel like I have trouble even my own body awareness of what I'm doing. That's why video is so helpful and feedback.
Yeah, for sure. I'll never forget. I had one student. He bought a 3-pack of lessons with me online, and he sent me his swings. He was just slicing the shit out of the golf ball on his. Can I swear on here?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Hands are like well above his head at the top of his backswing. Mm-hmm. Like you think like higher than JT's, right? And so I'm
trying to think now. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen JT play golf in a while.
Justin Thomas?
Yeah, I haven't seen him play
golf.
You guys don't watch?
You don't watch TGL?
Nope.
Do you watch TGL?
I love TGL.
Yeah.
I'm into that. Yeah. Sign me up. So I said, all right, your arms are too high, right? Let's move down your arm structure. We'll get you a little bit flatter. I want you to feel like you're Matt Kuchar, like your lead arms across your chest. Okay, give me a couple swings that maybe, 25% speed, real slow, but just send me those swings in there. He sends me swings at 120 miles per hour with his lead arm across his chest. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, okay, what? You're just hooking the golf ball? He's like, I'm hooking the shit out of the golf ball now. I said, okay, well, where I really want you is here. And so I shot him the video, gave him the drills. 3 hours later, he sends me back the video. How's this look? I was like, that looks great. Like, how's ball flight? It's awesome. I've never hit it so straight. Okay, perfect. He's like, okay, what's next? I'm like, I want you to go play golf. I never heard from him again. That was it. He's got 2 more lessons. I just imagine he's a scratch golfer out there right now and doesn't need anything.
That's hilarious. Yeah. He doesn't come back. Maybe he can donate his 2 lessons to me.
Well, you still got one with Bree.
I still do, yeah, at Avid. And I got to go see her. The knee's getting better.
Yeah, rehab.
Not really, but.
Well, on the same note of Frenchie, congratulations goes to Frenchie and yourself, Jay, and your team for winning the Invictus. Was it the Winter League?
Correct, yeah.
Wow. How'd you guys pull that off?
I have no idea. The other team was definitely much better than us. Yeah.
Was Frenchie cheating again?
Yeah, it was. Frenchie's a really good sim player.
Yes.
It is bonkers. For instance, we got the award the other night, and we decided to play a little round while we were out there. He hit a drive. If I remember right, he popped it up, hit it 224, middle of the fairway though, of course. Then proceeded to like pull hook his 3-wood up into the rocks in the sim. It trickled down though from it wasn't out of bounds. It trickled down into the greenside bunker, chipped that to about 2 inches, and made the putt for a birdie.
Is it stroke play?
It's a scramble.
It's a scramble. Okay, yeah.
So it's 4-man scramble event. I mean, we played well. There wasn't. I think there was only 1 week where we weren't. It might have been. I think our worst score might have been like 13 under or something like that.
Oh wow.
Woo.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Got some work to do. Although we're just 2-man scramble.
That's right.
If we had a couple more guys, we'll be all right.
We're getting better.
Or Caesars.
Or Caesars.
Yeah.
Virgin Caesars. They make some great Caesars at fourth line.
They do.
They
got
really
a
do,
good,
Dave. Shout out to Dave.
Good
Accoutrement.
accoutrement.
Yeah.
The cheese, the pickles, the olive.
Yeah, we had.
You never know what you're gonna get.
I had a slice of green pepper.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did you find? I didn't even know there were green peppers here. And sure enough, there's
In
one.
fourth line or Canada?
Well, depending on where we get them now, I don't know if we'll ever have green peppers again.
Are there tariffs on
Mexico,
those?
yeah.
Well, that was a joke I was going to make about. Oh, do you charge a tariff if you're working with people in the States now on Skillist? I don't know. I don't know if tariffs count for golf lessons.
Yeah, hopefully not.
They'll get hit
You'll
with
find,
the tariff.
yeah, you'll find your way around it. All right, what's in your bag now? I'm looking at it. Your Titleist guys mentioned before. What are you playing?
All new GT woods.
Oh,
in
I
there.
heard great things about those.
GT3. That club is unbelievable. I had the TSR. I can't remember. Yeah, TSR before that, and it was a good club too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the technology now is just bonkers. But when I was at TPI getting the GT, I hit a slightly heeled driver, and it still carried 280.
Wow.
I literally looked back at the TrackMan, and I was like, "That's not possible." He's like, "No, that's just how the technology is. Like, it is.
Wow.
Your misses are so much tighter. It is unbelievable."
What kind of shaft you got in there? Do you remember?
It's a Ventus Blue. I'm not a huge gear guy, so don't. I'm not gonna.
No,
I've always been the. You can sort of make work whatever you got.
Nice.
I'm not. If I have some students that are like, "Oh, should I put this shaft in there?" And I was like, "If you want to."
Yeah.
I don't.
And then swing. Show me your
exactly.
swings.
Show me your swing. I can sort that out. Right. Like, don't get me wrong. And I mean, like, fitting is important. There was one student I remember. He sent me some swings, and his shaft was just bending at the top of his backswing, and I was like, what shaft you got in there? And he's like, I got a regular blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm not a fitter, but that is flexing way too much. Like, you need to go get fit. And he got fit, and he gained, I think, 25 yards just shaft change, nothing else, right? And so yeah, it's important, but I wouldn't say that you can't make do with most of the stuff. Like, if you aren't hardcore into like buying new stuff, you can make sort of do. But what I would say is, if you truly are like, all right, I want to get the best I can out of my game, then yeah, you need to go get fit properly. Don't just buy something off the rack. Find ways to go get fit. The Eagle Nest, I believe it is a TPI in Canada, in Toronto. And what I'll often tell people is, if you're ever going on a trip, just plan, because it's only 20 minutes from the airport. So what you can do is plan a layover in Toronto, fly in the morning. You can drive there, go get fit, and then fly out in the afternoon. You can get your full fitting in the morning, 2-hour fitting, 3-hour fitting.
Wow.
It's amazing to get properly fit. You can easily gain 20, 30 yards if you've never been fit before, and you've got, let's say, 6 or 7 year old equipment. You're going to get some massive gains.
And what are you playing for irons?
Irons got the TP or the T100s.
T100s, okay. So that's a little going back, I guess. I don't know what the series are, the jumps are.
I think they're coming out with a new iron this year, I believe. I could be wrong. They do like alternating years. They're not quite like TaylorMade, sort of pumping everything out at the same time. They want to make sure that they got sort of the best gear, and they're testing it. Don't get me wrong, you can get good gear anywhere, but these were unbelievable when I got fit. Again, it's like even with the T100s, which are like the player type irons, even those, like you hit it a little bit out of the toe or whatever, you still get much better ball speed than when I was getting out of my old clubs.
Wow, just like that, eh? And then I can't see your wedges. They're turned the other way.
I got Vokey SM10s.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, those are some spicy clubs. You want to change those out, especially if you're looking for the same stopping power, right? You'll see a big difference especially if you practice and play a lot. You probably want to change those out maybe every year, which I know sometimes sucks because it's like it can be $400 to $600.
Right.
And how many I would say is if you're really looking for to save money, is I would change out like your 54 or 56 or something like that, and then just leave like your 58 or your 60 or whatever is your sand club, because you're not going to need the same amount of friction out of there. Let that wear down if you can't buy a full set. But yeah, making sure that you get freshy grooves, as all my buddies say, goes a long way.
Tim Ringer.
Yes. Episode 1 of this past season.
Tradesman, what's his name?
Tradesman Tim.
Tradesman Tim. He buys a new wedge every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he only has one in his bag, right? The 54.
Yeah.
That's it. Works for him.
Yeah.
I need some new wedges.
Apparently.
I think I'll get some Vokeys.
Well, then also clean club faces. I found out, right? If you're going to get a lesson with yourself or someone else, make sure your clubs are clean.
Yeah, for sure.
That might change things a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, you don't want to make my new screen all muddy.
Right.
Very upset about that.
Yeah, I know a few people who need to clean their club at least once a season, not let alone every swing or whatever. But
and they wonder why it's going this way or that way.
We won't name names.
And for yourself now, we off the top, we touched on Niakwa, and you actually helped build, I think, the sim bays that they have in the basement there, didn't you?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I did the whole renovation down there. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We went down there and we were trying to find ways to save a little bit of cash for the club. Originally, they were going to build, I think it was like $1 million. It was like $1 million plus addition before they even started. Which anybody that's done construction, that's going to easily turn into $2 million.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
The basement down there, they called it the beach, and it was basically just piles and piles of sand. And so I went down there and dug down, and yeah, it was deep enough for us to be able to swing a club in there. The only issue is when they built the original clubhouse, they didn't put a grade beam in, obviously trying to save money, and that's why they piled up all the sand to have like the mass to stop the walls from basically caving in. Okay. So we had to dig it all out. So we cut a giant hole so we could get in bobcats in there, dug it all out, poured the grade beam, and put in the studio and the gym down there. And cool. It's an amazing spot for sure. It's I would say.
Did you carry all the drywall?
No, that was well past my. I did help pour all the concrete, okay. So that was fun. I don't know. I had a time lapse somewhere, but I might have deleted it since I've changed phones. But
that's pretty cool. Yeah. We went down there.
Terry James, we went down there with Terry James. Do you know? Remember that?
They had all the trophies down there.
Yeah, they had the. There was trophies upstairs.
All right.
And then we went down there to check out the gym.
Mm-hmm. Were you not? Yeah, no, I was there. Domino's gym.
Yeah.
And
guard wire.
I remember the Domino's pizza sign.
Yeah.
In the gym.
Yeah. Best pizza in Winnipeg.
It's the high quality pizza of low quality pizzas.
I like Domino's. I don't mind it. They got good deals.
That was a reference to Saturday Night Live.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. It was an older episode. It's okay. They have their 50th year this year.
I would like to try and find that the SNL 50. I haven't watched.
You haven't watched the special yet?
No.
Oh, I got it. Oh, actually, I just erased it, but I can find it on demand for you, Mike.
All right, thank you.
And after this, we can have a little slumber party and watch 3.5 hours of
SNL 50. Live. Yeah.
Was it really that long?
Yep.
Wow.
It was that long. It was a pretty darn good special. Are you allowed to play in tournaments there? Like, can you compete against? Yeah, I figured you probably can.
No, I can't. Yeah.
Do you play the men's league?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I would love to play in more competitive events. And here's the funny part is I can't play in any PGA Canada events because I'm not a part of PGA Canada.
Right.
And then because I'm not an amateur, I can't play in any amateur events. I would say that the rules of how pros can't play in amateur events are definitely written really long ago, to the point where pros used to be an actual pro, right? It was like the pros went with the PGA Tour. Like it was.
Oh yeah.
That was just how it was back in the day. There's probably more pros that don't play golf as much because they're too busy being a professional golfer than they have time for that. It's like I bet you there's more amateur golfers that are better than pros. You know what I mean? Like, I think my handicap right now is like a plus 0.6 or something like that. I've gotten to maybe a +2 if I remember right at some point in when I was playing down in the States there for a bit. I'm not going to win any golf tournaments. You know what I mean? Like the +2, you know what I mean? Like there's so many better golfers, let alone like there's probably better pro golfers. I mean, there, what's that? It's that guy from Breezy Bend that just went down. He's playing in the States now. Braxton Kuntz.
Braxton. Yeah.
Amazing golfer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good golfers here in Winnipeg. And I know the Prairie Scratch guys are starting to like do more and more tournaments, which is awesome because there honestly isn't enough competitive golf for like the average golfer here. All my friends that live in the States, it's like they have a tournament every week.
Wow. And
in the UK, I mean, the club hosts a tournament every week. I mean, that's usually how you get your handicap back then before we switched to like, you know, the new, world handicap system or whatever, which is, I mean, still skewed because North Americans give so many gimmies.
Yes.
It's mind blowing.
6 foot gimmies. Got to keep that pace of play going.
That doesn't happen as much in the UK.
No.
Yeah.
No. Because everything's like you put it out.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you go,
it's golf.
Hey, we're gonna play Tuesday. All right, perfect. We're playing a Stableford, and you might win it. You got to putt it out, right? Everything's like your handicap is.
Right.
I like to putt it out.
Yeah, ditto.
I got maybe a pace of play thing where your partner wants you to hurry up, or if I'm visiting a club and they're like, okay, and then you like,
oh
maybe
yeah,
that's a reason. But
if you're playing like a
I
social
like
round, do whatever you want.
Sure.
And people ask me this all the time. And they're like, well, like, should I bump my ball in the fairway? Like, sure. Like, will that make your game more enjoyable? Perfect to do it. Like nobody cares what your score is. If you are not playing for money, do whatever you can do to enjoy the game.
Caesars.
Exactly.
Well, I know Mike's got a lot of notes on this, and I thought this was pretty cool. And this is, I guess, kind of where you met Frenchie, but Swings for Soldiers. Frenchie talked a little bit about it on his episode, season 3, episode 18. But were you the brainchild behind that?
Yeah, correct. So Soldier On is the charity that we donate. So all our proceeds go to Soldier On. The only thing that I knew how to raise funds would be a golf tournament, of course. Okay. So I was like, all right, how can I raise funds for, wounded soldiers or veterans or whatever you want to list them off as nowadays. But basically I was like, all right, perfect. Let's get a golf tournament going. Let's raise some funds in here. And I think, man, I don't even know how many years we're in now. Might be 6 or 7, I think, somewhere in there. Okay. So yeah, it's been awesome. Princess Auto is our title sponsor. They've been absolutely fantastic. So if you need anything at all, widgets, doohickeys, nuts, bolts, tractor, they got it.
Pressure washer. I got a pressure washer from there last year.
It's a great spot. You can get lost in there for hours.
Absolutely.
In a good way.
Yeah. We love Princess Auto.
We do love Princess Auto. So
yes.
Everyone comments on the name like, oh, it sounds like a soft name. Well, it's because it started on Princess.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Princess
don't know
Street
that.
Downtown.
Get them on the pod.
Yeah. So they've been fantastic. They without them we wouldn't be able to do it basically. And they signed up again this year. So the tournament will be July 28th at Niakwa. If you're interested, you can probably sign up in about a month. Probably open up, be able to get first draws for that. And it's always a great time. I think we've only got. I'm gonna jinx it now, but we only got rained on, I think, for 3 holes. Everything else has been absolutely beautiful. End of July, you can imagine the temps are fantastic. Pace of play is one thing. We chat about that, but I think we were under 5 hours last year.
That's really impressive.
That's really good
for a full scramble tournament. Everybody has a blast, drinks. There's just maybe less random games of throwing money inside a cubicle while it's being blowed with air,
chipping a marshmallow into a tire or something.
Yeah, that not so much. Just having fun with golf and buddies and raising funds for that is sort of what we're about.
And I thought there was something too, like globally with that too. Is that part of the Soldier On portion of it?
So yeah, Soldier On helps all the way across Canada.
Okay.
There's Soldier On, and then there's Wounded Warriors, I think, and then there might be one other one that are like the three big ones that are out there trying to help veterans. the Soldier On is definitely more helping through sports, but they're also starting to do like woodworking and, you know, a couple other things out there. I mean, for me, where this all sort of tied back into is I had the ability to go play in the Invictus Games in golf, which was hosted by Soldier On, which is, you know, Prince Harry put that on. And that was such a life-changing event for me when I'd been injured, was starting to heal, and it gave me a goal to, you know, get better at something and get my life, you know, sorted out for, all right, I got this one opportunity to win a medal playing against, you know, everyone else across the world. There was, you know, Brits and Australians and Americans, and everybody was there. And it was just an amazing time. It was such a, I mean, you know, you imagine that's how like professional golfers are, you know, it's like you get a police escort driving from the hotel to the place.
Oh, wow.
I guess that happened to Scotty Scheffler too, but
And it was at St. George's.
yeah, in
Golf
Toronto.
and Country
Yeah.
Club. So
Amazing golf course.
Yeah.
It was probably, I'd never actually been afraid of being above the hole before. You always hear about it on the PGA Tour, and you're like, oh, you can't be above the hole there. Those greens were rolling at 13 when we started, and it was 35 and sunny, and they just kept getting faster and faster and faster.
Gosh.
And it was a slow round, obviously, because of the greens, and you know, it's the biggest competition anybody's ever played in. I of course 3-putted the final hole because I couldn't hit my putt soft enough from above the hole. It lipped out and still rolled. I think it was 12 feet past.
Wow.
Holy.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, I might still have nightmares about that.
Well, you still got a medal.
I did, yeah. I got a bronze. Yeah, that was amazing. I almost actually got a silver, but somehow they changed the handicap. It was handicapped, so the guy that won was a 28 handicap. I almost caught him. He only beat me by 2.5 strokes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's all right. Sandbagger.
He was from the UK. I forgot his name. I did read that, but
Yeah.
What's it phonetically? I know you didn't.
no,
I know you didn't write it down.
I was gonna say I'm a big monarchy guy.
Oh,
so
no.
did you get to meet the Duke of Sussex?
No, he was there, but he was like a couple groups behind us.
Oh yeah,
I got to see Megan though.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Meghan Markle.
She was
Yeah, well,
very-
can you even call him the
very
Duke
friendly.
anymore?
I don't know. Probably not. That got
Yeah, he's
probably
just a
ripped
spare.
away from
He's
him.
the spare.
I think you can call him whatever you
Prince
want.
Harry. Yeah.
Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or spare, like his book.
Yeah.
Right. I bought that book.
Did you read it?
I've read like half of it, and then
It's like you with every book.
Yeah.
You have Ingram's golf book, and you've maybe turned a few pages.
I saw that book in
Just
my
supporting him.
basement.
That's
Stanley
good, I like it.
Thompson. Stanley Thompson's book.
I guess there is a trend here. I did read the first 4 Harry Potters,
Good for you.
front to
actually.
back,
Yeah, good for you.
and then didn't see the point of finishing the series.
I'll just watch the movies.
That was the first time they had golf in the Invictus
Yeah.
Games.
First and last time, sadly.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the host country gets to pick one sport. Outside that, it's the wheelchair basketball, rugby, sitting volleyball, track and field, a couple of track and field events, and there might be one other that I'm forgetting. So I got lucky to be picked on that year.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad that they kind of pulled it.
Yeah. I mean, I've sent them emails and say like, hey, this was such an amazing opportunity because there was the one guy that I chatted with, of course, I forgot his name. I'm so good at remembering names. He was.
So are we.
Yes. He was from the States, and he had lost both his legs in Iraq. And we were chatting, and he was telling me how the Invictus Games basically saved his life because he was sitting in his parents' basement with no idea what he was going to do. He had no drive. He had nothing to do. And it was actually his buddies who put his name forward, and he got picked. And his buddy said, all right, we're going to put you in golf and wheelchair basketball, and we'll figure out how you're going to play golf. And he got taken. I can't remember what they call it, but there's like a, Veterans Association in the States. It might be VGA if I remember right now, but they got him one of those wheelchair golf carts.
Oh yeah.
He got on this thing, and they went out to the golf course, and he hit a couple shots, and he said instantly it was like, this is it. Like, I love this. This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna enjoy it. And then chatting with him, I'm getting a little teary eyed here because it was like to see someone go from like I'm gonna like kill myself to like this is awesome. This is what I want to do. That's sports, right? And golf in particular for him was it. And it was funny. He did. I don't know where he ended up in golf, but he ended up winning a gold medal in basketball. And then he also signed up to do swimming, and he won 3 gold medals and then another silver and maybe a bronze.
Holy.
Wow.
Yeah, the dude was awesome. It was unbelievable.
Wow. An athlete.
The power of sport.
Yeah.
And then look at us sticking pencils into our gloves.
I did read that you used to play rugby.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
Was that like growing up?
Yeah. I almost played every sport.
Okay.
Rugby, I played I think I played 2 seasons for Team Manitoba as a winger. Just a little short, fast guy, basically. Tried not to get crushed by the forwards. I love that sport, but yeah, I remember played for the Assassins and seeing the old broken guys on the team and being like, all right, I really like this sport. However, I also like my body.
yeah.
I think I'll cash out here.
What area of the city did you grow up in?
St. Patel.
St. Patel.
And now playing a lot. Well, I guess is that place still at West Hawk? Is that still in the family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my parents' place now. They live out there year round. It's pretty sweet digs.
Well, even on that, you're a family man too, aren't you?
I do. Yeah.
Mike met the dog.
Yeah. Wife. Yeah. 2 kids and an asshole dog.
Is it Buster?
Buster. Yeah.
Buster.
Yeah.
What is Buster?
He's a bulldog boxer. He's about
Oh, wow. Okay.
He came at me with some pretty good aggression, but I trusted. I knew I didn't. I just stood my ground, and
Yeah. Just an
he
angry
licked my
potato.
hand, and that was it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank goodness for that McMunnon Yates pencil. Yeah, just carry it around with you everywhere, just in case Buster comes in here. I'm sure Buster is not allowed in here.
No, he's in here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. He loves it in here, actually.
Nice. I guess it's like
Great
his
I
biggest
think it's just
doghouse.
all the new smells. Yeah. All that pine.
Yeah.
Good recall. I had a couple quick ones, Mike.
Yeah.
Unless
Got
you
it.
got it.
Get it.
Okay, so this is going back to some of these I don't know what it means, but this first one I certainly don't. So Frenchie, thanks to you. Bear or shark?
Oh, bear. Yeah.
Okay, no idea what that means. So
It's actually a really good question. It's a funny question. So in a 6-foot pool, who would win? A polar bear or a shark? Great work, shark.
I think it would be a bear.
I got to go with the shark. Just
Oh,
to,
okay. Polar bear. Churchill.
Sharks are pretty
Shout out to
big.
Churchill. Sharks are pretty big. And I guess that's more so their domain.
Polar bears
Anyways,
are pretty big.
let's not dive too deep
Okay.
into that one. Yeah, Mike or Eli, we touched on chasing scratch. Do you think one of them's, or who's going to shoot under par first? Or do you have money on someone?
I think Mike is.
Okay.
I think he's. I mean, I don't want to put any pressure on him. Of course, it's like the last thing you want to do to one of your students. But I honestly think the next 4 months, he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna shoot it.
You saw Mike and I swing here today. Who's going to shoot under par first? If ever.
It'll happen.
How many more lessons are you gonna come back for?
That's right.
Yeah. How much time do you have?
I can overlap you. I can become better if I come train every day.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I've seen you smash some.
1% every day. I often talk about
right.
that.
So what's that?
If you want to read half a book, Atomic Habits.
1% every day. There you go, Mike. Another book you can
give a half read. Maybe I got to get into audiobooks or something.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever works, right? We just have talked about learning, even in golf.
Yeah.
You learn differently.
That's true.
Just throw it in your car. When you
Though I
drive to
do
work.
read the Mo Norman book to my daughter.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because it's
Oh,
kind
good
of
for
like
you.
it's kind of laid out as a children's book, weirdly, with a bunch of different stories
Oh,
of Mo Norman. I'll have to
Did not
post
know
a
that.
picture of it. It's
Cool.
a weird book.
that's a weird
Maybe that's why I've read more than 50% of it, because it has pictures.
book. That's all I had. I just had one other comment, but Mike, if you got some here.
I was gonna get it. I got bounce and grind on
Oh,
my
yeah,
sheet here,
right.
and you said you're not a fitter, but you must know about bounce and grind of wedges, and I think it came up last pod.
Yeah,
We're
last
like, we don't
episode.
know what bounce and grind is. So I don't know if you can give us a little tidbit of bounce and grind, and what should we Winnipeggers be looking at, as that comes into play with turf firmness and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. How much do you want me to go deep into this?
Give us two minutes.
2 minutes? Okay. So the bounce of the club, if you sit the club straight up, so how it would come from factory, right? You're not pressing it forward, you're not laying it back. What you're going to look for is the difference of the angle, okay, of the leading edge to the ground. That percentage or that degree is the bounce. Okay, so if you have a high bounce, it's basically more up, right? So if you imagine, what I'll often tell people is the difference between a spoon. Spoon would be high bounce, right? So if you put a spoon down on the table and it's curved up, that's high bounce. A knife, you lay that down, that's a low bounce, okay? Where you want the differences depends on the substrate, right? So if you're in like soggy grass, you want more bounce. Again, if we go back to the spoon and the knife, if you imagine you have soft butter, if you have that spoon and you go into the soft butter with the spoon will kick out of the soft butter. Okay. If you take a knife into soft butter,
Yep.
okay, it's just going to dig in. Now, vice versa, if you got hard ground, right? Let's say you're in dry pan. Right? Manitoba gets it all because we get like wet, and then we get dry. Right? If you get into hard pan, you don't want that bounce because if you hit the ground before, it's going to kick it up. You're going to blade the shit out of that golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, so that's bounce. Grind is very personal preference. It depends on how you utilize the club. So let's, for instance, if you ever, like the toe down shot where you get really close to it and you almost like putt chip it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, you want to have some relief by the toe of the club so that, again, you aren't bouncing it into the ball. You would have, I don't know all the grinds off the top of my head, but let's say a K grind would be one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may not be. Don't hold me to that. That would be what you'd be looking for, right? Or it's like, okay, out of the bunker, you want to use this, well, you want a little bit of a flatter sole, right? So you'd have grind that would be flatter across it so that as it comes down, it's going to thump into the sand and then kick it out, right? All you're looking for is what shots do you play and what grinds match those shots that you hit.
Okay.
Again, getting fit. You don't want to just walk into the store and go, my name starts with a J. I'm going to go with a J grind. That's not what you're looking for.
No, I'm certainly bought wedges right off the rack, not even knowing like grinds, and I tried to look into it. I think more so bounce now that makes sense. And then I guess it depends where you're playing too. If we're playing public munis, the Royal Assiniboine, sometimes those fairways can be a little hard,
A little crisp.
So you would want a low bounce wedge.
Correct. Yeah, for that. Now, if we go dive a little bit deeper,
Oh no.
if you, I don't know if you guys know who Joe Mayo is. But,
Yeah.
Okay. So Joe Mayo is talking about, well, do you need bounce at all? Right. If you pick the ball, right? And so there's people that pick the ball. Brooks Koepka, for instance, I think he's got 0 degrees bounce on one of his wedges.
Oh.
Right. Well, that allows you to get the grooves really low to the ground. Right. So again, depending on the shot you're looking to hit, you need to know like, oh, am I a picker? Am I a sweeper? A lot of teaching in the past, say 5/10 years has been like, be shallow, right? Use the bounce, right? Well, what is using the bounce? You know what I mean? Like if you pick the ball, you don't need any bounce. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. There's lots of ways of making it work. Right?
Yeah.
If we're gonna go deeper into like coaching styles, Derek Dembski is one of my favorite short game coaches. Golf Better Tucson. If you're into like following people on social media, that dude is amazing. Right? He teaches 4 different styles. Right? And again, it goes into, all right, what shot is in front of you? Like, do you have soft grass? Do you have hard grass? Do you have to flop it over a bunker? Can you bump and run? And everything always goes back to vanilla chip shot, right? What is your vanilla chip shot that you're going to hit 90% of the time? Most amateur golfers just need to find one easy vanilla chip shot, repeat, right? Why are amateurs trying to hit flop shots from 20 feet away when you can bump it onto the front of the green with your 54, right? If you're comfortable with whatever club it is, if you learn how to properly, add or subtract loft, you can use the same club, right? You get comfortable with that. get that ball on the ground, get it rolling out. You don't need to fly it all the way to the hole, right? It's low probability of you doing that, right? Now there's times where you need to do that, and that's obviously where you want to practice and get your reps in. But for most people, vanilla chip shot, find out how you interact with the turf. It's going to go a long way to better your short game.
Nice.
That was a pretty good answer.
Now, will we remember?
Well, I will re-listen to this episode. I'll snip that little audio clip,
You put it in a reel.
put it in an audio book, and listen to it.
Listen to half of it.
Well, the first half was pretty important, I think. And then,
Well, I know you're a big social media guy too there, Mike, because we talked about it a lot of, hey, maybe we need an intern, but is that where you're starting to find like more of your clients? That was like through social media, and then you direct them to the Skillest app?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, social media is a beautiful place for advertising. It's funny because I love it and hate it all at the same time.
Yeah,
like
ditto.
you can imagine, I don't like doom scrolling, right? That's like the worst thing. And I try to make my posts as much directed towards people. And what I mean by that is I'll go usually on my videos, and I'm trying to do it obviously more and more as I go. It's like, if this is your issue,
Right.
this might be for you. And I've had even my own students that are like, oh, I watched that video yesterday. I'm doing that drill. And I'm like, why are you doing that drill? I didn't tell you to do that drill. That's not what you need to be working on. They're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, just work on the drills that I gave you. Like, that's what you need to work on. They're like, oh, okay, perfect. Right. And I would say a lot of golfers run into that problem is they see one post and they're like, oh, this is it. I'm going to go do that. Right. And that might even be what they need to work on. The problem is that 3 days later, they see a new post and they're like, I'm going to work on that now. It's like, no, stop that. Like, just work on one thing. I mean, Scotty Scheffler, if we're talking about the best golfer in the world, he's been working on the same thing for probably like 9 years with his coach, right? It's like, all right, his grip gets off. He's got that grip trainer, right? How many of those did get sold once people saw that he had that in his bag, right?
Didn't Caddy Shed have those for a little bit?
they have
Or
so
do they-
many
they
swing
do?
trainers
Okay.
and grip trainers. They great place over at Caddy
Yeah, no
Shed.
free
Go
ads.
See them.
Darren, come
Maybe
on the
they'll
show, damn it.
Maybe they want to sponsor us.
Well, can't get a hold of Darren. He's too busy.
He's a busy guy.
Too busy selling grip trainers. And Nike golf clubs.
Hey, they got a good shop there.
Oh, yeah.
Some good fitters and some good product, new and used.
All right. Well, let's
I do have a
yeah.
video that like
for.
on that with actually like the butter and then
No way.
It's a really good.
It's on. Is it on your Instagram?
Yeah, I post it every once in a while. I mean, it's probably a reminder for me to post it again
Okay.
because it really does like open people's eyes of like how does like bounce interact with different grounds.
Yeah, smart. We'll have to throw that. We'll throw a few things up in the link tree here.
Yeah, we can just repost your videos.
Yeah, we'll just copy and paste.
We'll put them on our reels. We're struggling. Our reels are not great.
No,
No.
That's a conversation
just
for
gotta
another
keep
day.
posting.
Yeah, that's
It's
we'll
funny. I
figure
go
it out.
back and look at some of my old ones, and I'm like, man, that's shitty. That's real bad.
It's like the first season of the pod.
It was rough. Yeah.
You'll get there.
It's
You'll get
good.
there.
Good interview. It's just some bad audio.
Yeah, badass.
Bad
Badass.
us.
Anyways, this guy's not bad. He's been with us this is his 4th season. And it's time for the Back Nine Lightning Round. And it is for Bryce Malashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446, the aforementioned link tree. Bryce is the first link you will find on there. So go to our Instagram or Facebook, click on that bio. You can talk to Bryce. He helps me out. He's making me some money because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the financial world right now with tariffs and gold and bullion and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He'll walk you right through it.
Smart guy.
He's a smart guy and a decent golfer too,
Yeah.
and also a great family guy.
Great family guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Busy guy.
Busy guy.
Jay, I'm not sure if you're familiar with our Back Nine Lightning Round. Just a collection of quick questions that usually last a long time.
I like it.
You got a nickname?
Well,
Is it Jay? Do people call you Jay?
in the States, most of like Chasing Scratch listeners call me the ambassador of Quan from Mike, from Jerry Maguire. Definitely. I mean, I'm thankful for it. It's pretty awesome, but most people just call me Nickol. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
obviously from hockey. Everyone
Right.
everyone calls you your last name. I actually remember a funny story was one of my assistant captains who I'd played hockey with, I think maybe 5 years in a row, called my house one day to tell me that like practice was canceled. My mom picked up the phone and he goes, is Nickol there? And my mom went, Jayson? He goes, yeah. Is he there? Like, yeah, she's there. And I pick up the phone and he goes, fuck, Nickol, I couldn't remember your first name.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It's always funny back in the day, and you don't even really know people's real name, and you just know their nickname.
Yeah.
You still play hockey?
No, I gave that up 3 years ago when I watched one of my buddies get absolutely creamed from behind in the Dakota Hockey League.
Brutal.
Can't trust the people in St. Vital.
That stuff doesn't happen down at the Highland.
No,
there.
it doesn't happen
The
at
Canlan
Canlan.
Iceplex there.
Scotty Fourcan's got it on lock there. So does D Money, Derek Monroe.
Have you ever got a hole-in-one?
I have one, yeah, at Niakwa.
Nice.
14th hole. It's maybe my favorite story of all time because my buddy Ian McIver, he'll probably listen to this because I'm going to tell him to, and he's going to be very upset at this point. The day before, same hole, hit a beautiful shot, tracking right to the pin, disappeared. And we're like, oh my God, and we all celebrate, going crazy. Can't believe I've never seen him get a hole-in-one before. Walk up there, I guess it like horseshoed.
Oh.
And we couldn't see it because it sort of like went behind the little hill there.
Oh.
Didn't get a hole-in-one. I felt bad.
Oof.
Then the next day, same hole. I got a hole-in-one.
Golf gods.
He was very upset, but I bought him wings and beer.
I think that's the one. Didn't we see a hole-in-one on that one? We were playing with Terry James and Niakwa?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we did. It happened right behind us.
Dean's kid. Wasn't it Dean or
No, he was playing with
playing with
Dean and Dean's kid. Yeah.
Wes Lestman.
Yeah.
Les
West.
Westman. That's cool. That's a beautiful course. Yeah, that was great to get out there. And they had good drinks. We had lots of drinks there.
Ask for a Terry James. Go to Niakwa,
That's
ask
true.
for a
Just
Terry
have their
James.
own drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is probably an obvious answer. What golf ball do you play?
Titleist Pro V1X. Best ball in golf.
You get any freebies from Titleist at all or not?
No comment.
We're still waiting for Rob McMillan. He's waiting for his 2025 budget.
Right.
We're hoping to get some
They'll
stuff.
give us a sleeve of balls. What is your favorite course to play in Manitoba?
For sure, Falcon. Yeah, can't really. I mean, there's so many memories there for me.
Yeah.
You know, I play it a couple times a year with my family, and it's just, you know.
You ever play with Dave Turner out there, the superintendent?
I worked for Dave for 2 years.
You worked for Dave? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Whoa.
That could be a whole separate pod.
I think so.
Yeah. I funny story.
We love grass.
Yeah.
My second year, I was the guy that went out and changed the whole pole placements.
Mm-hmm.
I was maybe a little hungover still. On the 8th hole, if you guys remember that par 3, I stuck it maybe 6 inches from the tier in the middle. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Right in the edge.
right in the edge. Yeah. Dave came in at first break. I'm having breakfast, and he goes, "Nickol, what the fuck? Get out there and change that whole occasion on 8." And I drive back out there a little bit, slightly more sober and eyes wide open. I was like, "Whoa, well, that's a real bad placement."
Few complaints that
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, but yeah, Dave's great at his job. I mean, that course is it Lakeland now that's managing it now, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
could
I think
be.
so.
Yeah, I think they are. They did a fantastic job. I mean, the greens there this year. I mean, ever since they had the mid-am there, I think they maybe gave them a little bit more money for the mid-am, and I'm assuming they bought a roller. I mean, I haven't been by the maintenance shack, but gee willikers, man, like it was fucking bonkers. We went out there, I think, for like a fun, Tuesday versus Tuesday league event.
Okay.
And guys were just 3-putting for days because they're slopey greens, right?
Mhm.
And then you start getting them going, like you can putt it off the green on a number of holes on that course.
Gee. Well, glad I didn't play it that day.
Yeah.
Hopefully get out there this summer.
Yeah, we still have to play with Dave.
Mm-hmm. Andy B-Way wants to put into like a day trip. Get
Yeah, absolutely.
a highway bus and get out there.
Or just a regular bus.
Yeah. Yeah, or a passenger vehicle. Anyways, what would be your Manitoba bucket list course? Anywhere you haven't played that you want to get out to?
I actually haven't. Well, I haven't played Oak Island.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard from the was it King Guys? Yeah, King Guys.
Yeah,
they're saying how nice it is, and they host a tournament every year out there. I think it's a 3-man scramble. I've been trying to get out there, but it always falls on a time when I can't make it out there. Of course, It was funny. I was actually just there for my kids' hockey, literally 10 minutes from the course, but it's minus 10
sure,
and
yeah.
snow on the ground.
Yeah, beautiful course. We got to get out there.
Yeah.
Seems like you've played all over the world. In your opinion, what would be the most memorable golf course that you ever played? You can give us
memorable.
Maybe a top 3. I'm sure. I don't. Maybe you haven't, but it seems like you've probably played some good courses.
Yeah. I mean, memories wise, obviously playing the Invictus Games is
Right.
That just comes to front. I mean, that course is also absolutely gorgeous, but like looks wise, man, that's a tough one. I played Erin Hills, and I played
In Wisconsin.
Yeah, in Wisconsin. Yeah. And I played Sand Hill on that same trip. And then
Is
what
that
was the other
Sand
one?
Valley?
Sand Valley. Yeah. Sand Valley. Yeah. Sand Valley. I didn't play Lido. It was a Mammoth Dunes, I think is the other one. And then I played their little short course.
Got to get to Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Like,
Heard great things.
if you're not getting to Bandon, you go to Sand Valley. It is absolutely stunning. And you just get there and you can just stay on the resort. They have, I think it's like $2 tacos, like on the course. Yeah. So if you're going there and you're like, all right, what do I need to do? Don't go to the restaurant. Just go out to, I guess Sand Valley, I think is the nearest course if I remember right. And they have like a snack shack on the first hole, and it's $2 tacos. You get 3 tacos or more, right?
Yeah.
Drinks are cheap. Like once you're there on the golf course, it's sort of like Augusta, where it's cheap once you're on the golf course. It's obviously expensive to get there. Amazing golf, and they got caddies and the whole shebang. But yeah, it's awesome. What was the other course that I played?
You got any fun courses on the sim here? I was going to ask what software you're running on this.
Yeah, so I mean, I've FX for like the standard coaching, because I can throw up club face and all other data, but GS Pro is what I use for everything else. I mean, not to bash buying golf courses, but you can get GS Pro. I think it might be $350, and you've got any golf course you really want. That's and Operation 36 is on there, so you got kids, and then you can play against other people. It's definitely the what you want if you're gonna opt to buy a second app.
Right.
Yeah. And it's got a range and everything, and it's got, actually they just updated and now they have a range that changes. So if you're working on like your wedge game and stuff like that, or just wanting different shots, it like auto generates like another shot, different hole, different green, like water, everything.
That's on GS Pro?
On GS Pro.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's way better than any other one. It's Arcadian Bluffs.
Arcadian Bluffs. Okay.
Yeah. They have 2 courses and they're very distinct. So they have their Bluffs course, which is on the lake, and it is basically like Erin Hills, but nicer looking. And then they have a second course that's inland. It might be called the inland course. I can't remember what that one is. And they have square greens. And it is like a treat to play it. It's really cool. Like it's a linksy course.
Interesting.
But
Square
inland.
greens.
Obviously the other one is still type linksy.
Yeah.
Like Erin Hills sort of is, but it's stunning. So if you're ever up that way, you need to stop in there. It's a gem for sure.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the board.
With the exception of Augusta National, unless somehow you get to play Augusta, but what would be your number 1 bucket list course?
Right now, it's got to be the old course. Yeah. Funny story about Augusta, though. I played Augusta Country Club maybe about a month ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Weren't you traveling around Jaja?
Yeah, so I flew into Atlanta because it's dirt cheap flights from Winnipeg to Atlanta. People don't know that. Get away. I think my flight there and back, I think, was like $300 taxes
Nice.
in.
Wow.
And then I drove from there to obviously Augusta. Drove past Augusta, and it is basically just a like Fort Knox of fencing. Like
Right.
you know, it's and the where you see like the pros drive in, they have those big poles that come out of the ground.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you can't even drive in. It's totally blocked off. It's but
They don't even. I've heard they don't even like have cracks in the fence where you could even like see in some cases.
No, yeah, it's like completely fenced off. Like you would not think it was a golf course. You'd think it'd be like a prison inside there.
Right.
But Augusta Country Club was nice enough to host me there, so we played there. They had obviously just had that hurricane.
Yeah, right.
They lost 1,500 trees.
Wow.
1,500.
1,500 trees. It was
Just on that
crazy.
course?
Just on their course. Yeah.
Whoa.
They were without power, I think, for like 3 weeks, if I remember right.
wow.
It was a hard place to be for them. I mean, Augusta itself isn't like very well of a place, like,
Okay.
other than Augusta, basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People don't know that, but
Yeah. Well,
it was, the course was stunning though, and it was funny. People often talk about how hilly like Augusta is,
Yeah.
and you never really know it until you play there. And obviously it's not the same course, but it's like roughly the same. So right beside each other, right?
yeah.
The guy that hosted me, he's like, "Yeah, we're taking carts." I was like, "Oh, I really like to walk." He's like, "Nope, that is a hike. Like it is. Are you here for exercise or are you here for golfing?" And I was like, golfing. Like he's like, "Then you're taking a cart." And it was like first hole was flat. After that, it was just you're either walking uphill or downhill.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty cool. And then I can't remember what hole it was. Maybe like 8th hole or 9th hole. You could see Augusta, and the guy was
Ooh.
telling us, and he goes, "Yeah, the hurricane blew so many trees over that you can see Augusta from their golf course." And they have, I think he said they have 8 members that are members at Augusta at their golf course, because Augusta's closed like for so long.
Right.
That
Yeah, I get it.
they were mentioning, they're like, "Yeah, I can't believe we can see Augusta from here." And they're like, one of their first things they're going to fix is like putting in more trees so that no one can see into their golf course again. But yeah, I mean, it just shows you how much like money can do, right?
Right.
Like don't get me wrong, the course is absolutely amazing and super cool to play, but it's like dormant grass, right? And then you look into Augusta and it's like perfect green. Like it just looks like it's timeless. Like
Right,
nothing
yeah.
has touched it. But yeah, it was. I got to hit a shot. I hit a wedge over Race Creek, which was really cool.
So it runs through.
Yeah, it runs right through Augusta and then right through that golf course. So you hit a little wedge over Race Creek and then you walk over it. It's basically
really
the same
cool.
thing, you know. You basically played Augusta.
Yeah, basically. You got to get your scuba gear and then float through Rays Creek.
Yeah,
and
they'll never catch me.
Yeah. Well, have you gone overseas? You played in the UK?
No, I have not. I'm going to Dubai in middle of March, and I'm going to go play a lot of their nice courses.
Yeah.
Like Dubai. I don't know if it's Dubai National or whatever, but we're playing the night course. Nick Faldo's
Saw that.
course.
I don't know if Aaron Cockrell had posted a video playing the night course.
Yeah, we're trying to link up. If he's not playing, we're gonna try and get in a game out there.
Cool.
Always put money on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, it's very good
luck charm.
golfer. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Oh, yeah, he's decent.
Yeah. I think he shot some like 60, 61 or something like that in Niakwa. No sweat.
It's an easy course.
Yeah.
I heard the old course got a lot more expensive to play.
Did it really? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Career low round.
64.
That's pretty close to what you shot the member guest at Breezy Bend. Although you were having an off day, I think you still came in at like a 68 or 69 or something.
Yeah, that's
Playing from the forward tees though, so
Yeah, it does help.
Cheap.
Yeah. I didn't quite have the driver that day. I think I lost the ball on the rough. That was the big one I was upset about. Something worse than that. It's like, oh yeah, it's a little bit offline, no big deal. We'll just go find it up there. Nope, it's gone. All right, perfect. It was an easy double. Thanks.
Somebody probably picked it up.
oh yeah, for sure. It's probably
DQ Nick.
DQ Nick.
This is my wild card question and kind of goes into fitting a little bit, but I'm sure you know a lot about it. Thicker grips. It seems like there's been a recent movement of players moving to like thicker grips, and I guess in the past this grip size was mostly based on hand size, but now people are kind of tweaking with, thicker grips for more control or whatever. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, first thing that I would say is there's been a fair amount of actual research saying that you don't actually control the club face more or less, right, with bigger grips. So the old, adverb of, if that's the right word I'm using, was that like, hey, if you hook the ball, just use bigger grips. That'll calm down your hands. That's not actually true. They've done like a lot of research saying that that's not true. Now, that being said, if you have really large hands and your fingers are actually touching your palm, you want a bigger grip because that's going to, obviously, you're going to have issues controlling the club face. Outside of that, if thicker grips help you hold onto the club better, perfect, awesome, right? Like whatever you need, even if it's a placebo effect, go for it, right? I have no issue with any of that stuff. What I would say, and probably the biggest thing coming out this year, I believe, is there's going to be, and I hope to grab it when it actually comes out for production, is they have a grip sensor now. Right. So if you think about force plates, but for the handle, they've been doing a bunch of research there. Obviously I like reading and I like learning, about the golf swing and how to help people. So what they found is that most amateur golfers don't grip the club early enough. So it goes in a little bit what we were talking about. And then they grip it later too much. Pros, of course, they do the complete opposite that amateurs do.
Yeah.
So if you have thicker grips, you might hold onto the club a little harder earlier, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, right? If it works out for you, perfect. If it doesn't, $17 or whatever it is for a grip, it's worth, try one club, see how you like it. If it helps you golf better, then all for you.
Yeah, experiment. And I actually have that. So on my 4-wood, it has a mid-size grip, and I really like it. Well, you've seen me hit a few good shots with it.
I have, yes, very much so. Yeah, that's good.
I honestly think, as you keep going, it'll be like your grip will get into a proper fitting. And it'll be like, all right, here's an easy way. You could just have air compressor, just okay, new grip, hit this. How's this feel? Good, perfect. Just like they do shafts, right?
Right.
The issue, of course, is always time, right? Every fitter only has so much time trying to find you your best thing. But if they have the ability to go, all right, let's try a little bit, thinner, stretched out, right? It's like, all right, perfect. Here's the grip for you.
Mm-hmm. And we also heard, too, like more tape underneath. I think Cam, who we play with every now and then at fourth line, and really good golfer out of Breezy Bend, he, I think, does a bunch of like 3 or 4 wraps of tape just underneath the grip. So regular grips, just wrapped underneath, more tape.
Yeah, for sure. There's like Bubba Watson. I think he uses 2 layers of duct tape and then 8 regular under his grip. Yeah. At some point you just need to find whatever helps you hit the golf ball better. I would say most amateurs probably can't feel 2, right? Right. It's just like swing weights. Most people can't feel a change of 2 in the swing weight, but once you go over that, then it feels different. Now, what you might feel and what might help you play better golf might be something different, right? So making sure that, all your clubs are weighted properly and, lie and lofts are on because I often see that as like, well, when's the last time you checked your lie and lofts? People are like, well, I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, well, your 7-iron, especially if you hit a lot of balls inside, right? If you hit balls constantly inside, that can change your lie and lofts. And so what can happen is, let's say your standard lie and loft gets moved by 3 or 4 degrees. Well, now you're going to get a big gapping.
Oh,
right?
for sure, yeah.
So, for instance, for me, it's like, I practice a lot with my 7-iron, right? And so if that starts changing, well, all of a sudden my 7-iron becomes my 6-iron. Now I've got 2 6-irons and no 7-iron in my bag, right? It's gonna be hard to play golf like that.
Yeah. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That might have happened to me.
Because we're getting a lot of it might have. We don't know. We'll get them checked out.
I guess so.
I don't know where you'd go for that.
Shamefully, I've never gotten fit for my clubs.
Oh, okay.
Even though every season we say get fitted.
Yeah.
And everyone we talk to says get fitted.
Well, if you're ever traveling, just go to Toronto.
Go to Toronto. I don't often fly through Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Now you can.
Now I can. Now I have a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Flagship question on the back 9 lightning round. What is your favorite condiment?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I was not ready for that one.
That was a good reaction.
Yeah,
Get an eyes wide open reaction.
Oh, man. Brian, I'm going to go spicy mayo.
Nice.
Okay. So not just a mayo, a spicy mayo.
Yeah.
Spicy mayo.
Okay.
I like that.
That'd be good. Now I'm hungry. I always get hungry after these shows, and we always end with the condiments, and I get
Right.
really hungry.
And then I'm thinking about the tacos from Sand Valley.
Yeah, delicious tacos.
And a spicy mayo. Wow.
Could go well.
I want a spicy mustard now. Spicy mayo. I think that's our first spicy mayo. Or maybe we had a Chipotle mayo before.
I gotta chart this or
Yeah,
something.
I
but
you
it's
did
tough
after the
to
first
find,
season. It's tough to find.
I gotta
time.
listen to the whole podcast. Who does
You only
that?
get through half.
Yeah.
Only does it halfway.
I like spreadsheets, so.
Well, now get back to it.
Okay.
All right. So, you know this guy likes spreadsheets too. That's Bryce Matlashewski.
I thought you were
He
gonna
is
say
our sponsor. No.
Andrew Blanchette.
I don't.
Sorry.
All right. That was the back nine lending
Bryce.
round, and it
Bryce
is for Bryce
Matlashewski.
Matlashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce 204-515-3446. We also have his link in our link tree. Just go to our Facebook or Instagram page, click on that bio, and in there you will get Bryce Matlashewski. You will get some PGA of Manitoba stuff, and there will be a bunch of links for you. Jayson, thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for inviting us into your lab here and giving us a few pointers. We're going to go get some food now, talk about what we learned so we don't forget it.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of
Anything we
feedback.
left out? Anything
Mhm.
that you wanted to tell us that tell
Or-
the people?
Or maybe there is one thing, we
yeah,
we
that's
asked
a
us, like,
true.
if there's one thing, for amateur golfers or people who are maybe struggling with this or that, is there one, I know everyone's different, but is there one thing you can kind of say, hey, start with this and maybe it'll help out your game?
I mean, every golfer I always look at is grip stance, posture, ball position, alignment. It's so overlooked because it's not sexy,
Right.
right? Make sure your grip's in a good spot so you can, it's the only thing you're holding onto the club with, right? And your grip might be different, right? For instance, if you slice the ball, Ben Hogan's grip is probably not for you, right? You need to find what works for you. Obviously, you need some feedback, right? Make sure that you're actually doing what you want, as you chatted about. If
Right.
you don't have feedback, you're just exercising. You watch Mr. Johnson down the range, and you go, "Hey, what are you working on?" "I'm working on shallowing the club." "Perfect. Are you doing it?" "I don't know." Right? Ask your buddy, grab a video, right? Set up a mirror, give you something, grab a training aid. You need some sort of feedback to make sure that whatever you're working on is actually starting to get ingrained.
Good point. All right. Well, we'll
Yeah.
leave it at that.
That's fair.
If you want to work with Jayson, you can find him on the Skillest app. And again, just go to our link tree. Hit that link in our bio on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll get it all there. But that's it. That's all. I'm sure we could talk for a couple more hours, but
think
we're
so.
out. Thanks for Frenchie for giving us some questions. Thanks to you, Mike. Thanks again, Jayson, and have yourselves a wonderful evening. We'll chat with you next time. Bye-bye.
So long.
And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot.